Hi gang, Jeff McAleer here, and today we're taking a look at Phantom Leader from Dan Verssen Games. This is the Deluxe edition. It is a Vietnam-era solitaire air war strategy game. If you already have Phantom Leader, you're probably going to want to take notice because, from my understanding, this is basically just got more in it. I believe the original Phantom Leader had 160 some cards. This doubles it. I believe there's something like 330 cards inside. But if you've never picked up Phantom Leader, this is probably a great place to start too as far as the Dan Verssen Games Leader series. The Apache Thunderbolt is an excellent game. You've also got Hornet Leader that's out there as well for you to check out, which is more modern, both of those. This is the Vietnam era. So target Hanoi, let the thunder roll. It is a solitaire game. It's low to moderate complexity. Most of the missions you can play in about a half hour, but once you start playing, you're not going to want to stop. If this is anything like the other Leader games, you're going to find that you're going to be looking for a place in the corner of your house that you can leave it set up so you can play a mission or two whenever the mood strikes you. So let's take a look to see what we've got inside the box. And this is a very hefty box. I'll tell you that right now. Probably going to have a bit of a time getting it open here, but there we go. So inside we find the rulebook. And for most of the Dan Verssen games, you'll find the rulebooks aren't really long. This is a pretty good size. I'm going to take a guess. We're probably looking at maybe 24 pages to start off with. But some games, especially war games or simulations, you'll find rulebooks with 50, 60, 100 pages. So here we're looking at, we've got a breakdown of the game components, the cards, event cards that you'll have come into play, your squadrons, how you select your pilots, putting together pre-flight because you're going to have to set up the loadout for your weapon systems and everything, how to place your target sites, the tactical display, which is very important in the game, air-to-air attacks, how your aircraft move, how you change altitude, debriefing, pilot stress, which is very important as far as your squadron. There's some optional rules as well, talking about adding Air Force aircraft. That's going to go through the various different aircraft as well as your munitions. A sample mission which runs turn by turn. And look at that! I guess 24 pages. Right on the money. So there's the rules. And now we've got various different counters. And we're going to see that we have the different munitions, the aircraft that are available as well, some markers, targets. They are dual-sided as well, as you can see. So we've got one counter sheet and a second counter sheet. Take a look here. Once again, more aircraft. Then you've got your player log, which you're going to fill out the log after all your missions so you can track experience points for your pilots, see who's stressed, who you need to give a little R&R to. And then we've got what looks like a good number of campaign sheets. So we'll take a look to see what we've got here. As I mentioned, this is the Vietnam era. So we're looking at the Cuban Missile Crisis. And these are only single-sided. Another Cuban Missile Crisis. Ah, I see. So this is the Navy. The previous one was the Air Force. The war in the South with the Air Force units, as well as with naval pilots. Operation Linebacker from 1972. And of course, with the Air Force units also. And then we have Rolling Thunder for the Navy as well as the Air Force. Then it looks as if we've got just a bit of a reference card here. And then we have the layout for the board, where you're going to have your target area. So you'll have your targets, and then your units come in on various different approaches. The targets move as well. So there's an area for your event deck, your target deck, pilot cards, rundown of your sequence of play as well. And of course, you're going to mark your turns, because you'll be running out of fuel, you'll need to get back, so on and so forth. And then, as I mentioned, there are loads and loads of cards that are included in the Deluxe Edition. So I'm not going to open all of these up to take a look at, but we will take a look at some. So let's take a peek. So looking at the 2 decks out of the 6 here, looks as if this one here, we're taking a look at the different pilots. Pigeon, Chiller, Lefty, and all the pilots have experience levels. So they can become aces, veterans, they can be brand new, fresh to the fight. So these are a lot of the pilots. And your pilots can only fly certain aircraft as well. And you'll notice that's something that you'll see in both Hornet Leader as well as in Apache Thunderbolt Leader. So these are the pilots. And got, looks like another 2 decks of pilots, 3 decks of pilots really. And then of course, these are going to be your targets. Looks like some more pilots there as well. And then we've got a few other cards like event cards. In a lot of the games you're going to draw an event card either going into the mission or while you're over the site or coming back from the mission. So it looks like we've got quite a few different events that take place. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. Then we've got some of your targets. Cement plant, SAM sites, a rail line, so on and so forth. So loads and loads of cards right there. If you're interested in solitaire games, now I haven't played this yet, but I am going to go out on a limb here and say that the Deluxe Edition of Phantom Leader is going to be right up there with Thunderbolt Apache. Love that game. Think it's a fantastic game. In fact, it's in the top 10 of our reviewed games. It is just that much fun. You can pick up the Deluxe Edition of Phantom Leader for $89.99 at Dan Verssen Games. So we've got the cards. Oh, should have mentioned we had a 10-sided die in there. We've got the counters and everything. Put the board back in. And the rules. And that is what we've got in the box for Phantom Leader Deluxe Edition from Dan Verssen Games. So look forward to a review of this in the very, very near future. And be sure to visit thegaminggang.com in the meantime for all the latest in gaming news and reviews and a whole lot more. Once again, this is Jeff McAleer. Thanks for watching.